Ravens, is it Ravens or Rounds? Round, I thought it was Roundsburg, yeah. Yep, okay. Sorry, Troy, I threw you in the deep end this morning. Just constitutional amendment, W, initiated measure, whatever, yeah, just the letter is fine. Well, what we're verifying is the numbers. What we're verifying is the numbers from my scanner.
Will not run.
Cindy, if you need to verify the thing that the printout, maybe we should put that on the screen instead of
I don't have that.
the one you sent, the one you emailed to me.
What did I email you? I don't
Wonder
remember
if
what
Charlie
I
forgot
emailed
that
you.
we're meeting today.
See what he emailed, because I can't.
I'm not getting any of your emails.
Why?
I didn't even get the,
That,
Agenda.
okay, that's the Secretary of State. That's the canvas report from the Secretary of State's. So
She
it
sent it
matches
out
what that other thing was that we were,
The website, that looks cool.
yeah, it does.
It looks cooler than me, but not even.
It's, yeah, we've got the technology, let's just embrace it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So these are just the Cottington County.
Yep, this is the, these are the numbers we're gonna verify today.
Embracing technology. Been doing that. I should put that on my brochure. Embraces technology.
I like that embracing technology.
And I could also put one Johnson on the commission as enough.
Yeah. I agree.
We don't want people to get mixed up.
What did you say?
One Johnson on the commission is enough. I didn't put that on my brochures.
I was at a couple of meetings yesterday, and it'd be amazing how many people congratulated me on winning again.
You know, I thought about that when I saw those campaign signs. I thought, ooh, that's a
You know,
little misleading.
that's a bad deal. He didn't put his name on it.
Well, I think it was intentional. Oh. It is 9 o'clock.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, a little bit different than our usual Tuesday meeting day, but it's Thursday. We're meeting because of the election. We had to move it back a day or two, and it is November 8th. We would like to open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Troy, is it your turn? Sure. Oh, we got more flags. Remove the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Troy. As usual, a couple of housekeeping chores. The meeting is being streamed live, as everyone here, I think, realizes that. If you have a cell phone, please silence it or turn it off. If you have a call you need to take, please step out in the rotunda and take the call. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board on an issue or an item that is not on the agenda? Seeing none, then is there any conflict of interest for the board at this time? Is there anything on the agenda that appears to be a conflict of interest by the board? Seeing none, then
We'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
approve a motion then to, okay, we have a motion, a second to approve the agenda as printed. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. How about the minutes of the
Move to
October
approve
23rd?
as emailed.
Second.
We have a motion by Hatton, second by Van Duzen, to approve the minutes of the October 23rd meeting. Any discussion? Any additions, any corrections? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Do you want me to have one of the girls try and get a hold of it?
There's Charlie.
There's Charles.
Come on, Charlie.
Slippery interstations and
Yeah, they're for you.
Going on to number 5 then, it's that time again that we canvass the 2018 general election results and action to approve. And at this time, we've asked Troy if he will read the results, and we will follow along on our copies, and we will be comparing the two copies to make certain all the numbers add up or
The results that Troy is reading are from the ballot scanner, and the results that you're looking at are the numbers that I put into the state system, and they need to match.
And we will be reading the totals.
Correct.
And the individual counts.
The race, yeah, the race and the candidate's name.
For United States Representative, George Hendrickson, 125. Dustin Johnson, 7,129. Tim Bjorkman, 3,144. Ron Wigzorek, 160, for a total of 10,558. For Governor and Lieutenant Governor, Kurt Evans, Richard Shalatz, 131. Kristi Noem, Larry Roden, 5,865. Billy Sutton and Michelle Lavallee, 4,697, for a total of 10,693. For Secretary of State, Steve Barnett, 6,975, and Alexandra Frederick, 3,091, for a total of 10,066. For Attorney General, Jason Ravnsborg, 6,013. Randy Seiler, 4,085, for a total of 10,098 votes. For State Auditor, Richard Satgast, 6,631. Tom Kuhl, 3,076, for a total of 9,707. For State Treasurer, Josh Hader, 6,307. Aaron Madsen, 3,312, for a total of 9,619. For Commissioner of School and Public Lands, Ryan Bruner, 6,213. Woody Hauser, 3,182. For Public Utilities Commissioner,
Was there a total on that?
I'm sorry, total votes, 9,395. For Public Utilities Commissioner, Christy Fegan, 6,685. Wayne Frederick, 3,051, for a total of 9,736. For South Dakota State Senator District 4, John Wick, 982. Dennis Evenson, 446, for a total of 1,428. For South Dakota State Senator District 5, Representative Lee Schoenbeck, 6,358, for a total of 6,358. For State Representative District 4, Darrell Lamar Rutt, 39. Fred Deutsch, 824. John Mills, 611. Jim Chilson, 598. Kathy Tyler, 514, for a total of 2,586. For South Dakota State Representative District 5, Nancy Yorick, 5,337. Hugh Bartles, 5,328. Brett Reese, 3,494. Diana Hain, 1,664, for a total of 15,823. For Cottington County Commissioner District 1, Donald Lee Gable, 1,231. Raymond Johnson, 619, for a total of 1,850. For Cottington County Commissioner District 5, Brenda Hanton, 1,058. Kenneth Larson, 837, for a total of 1,895. Justice Janine M. Kern, yes votes, 7,415. No votes, 1,358, for a total of 8,773. Constitutional Amendment W, yes votes, 4,254. No votes, 5,501, for a combined total of 9,755. Constitutional Amendment X, yes votes, 4,323. No votes, 4,808, for a total of 9,131. Constitutional Amendment Z, yes votes, 5,979. No votes, 3,638, for a total of 9,617. For initiated measure 24, yes votes, 5,640, no votes, 4,035, for a total of 9,675. And initiated measure 25, yes votes, 4,382, no votes, 6,054, for a combined total of 10,436.
Having heard the canvass of the votes, at this time I'll entertain a motion to accept them.
I would make that motion,
I
Mr.
have a
Chair.
motion by Van Duzen, a second by Commissioner Waterman. Any discussion? The numbers, it's interesting when you look at the constitutional amendments and the initiative measures. Some people, which is absolutely legal, the numbers aren't exactly the same all the way across. Some couldn't decide, so they left it blank.
If you look at the constitutional officers also,
Yes.
there were a lot of undervotes in those races because people simply do not know who those
Sure.
people are. I mean, there's not a lot of campaigning that you see locally for stuff like that, so
But all-
definitely a lot of undervotes.
But all their other votes counted.
Correct.
You know, they
Yes,
may have left one
you can
blank,
go in
but-
and you can vote on one thing on that ballot and your ballot counts, so.
All right, any more discussion? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. We
I'm
have,
going to be sending around the certificate of canvass. I just need to have each of you sign, and it does not matter which line you sign on. You just start at the top and work your way down. I do have to send my canvass to the Secretary of State today. I believe they are doing the state canvass next week.
and I'd also like to add a congratulations to all of the candidates that were involved in this election, those that won and those that came in second place or third place, whatever, at least they got out and give it a good old college try, so we appreciate that. Cindy, the percentage of voters in Cottington County was,
64.5 turnout.
which is very good, so congratulations to all the voters too, for getting out and voting. Okay, let's go on then to monthly reports, and Veterans Service Officer Al is here this morning. Come on up, Al. Good morning.
Morning, Al.
Morning, Al.
Just have you turn your mic on, Al, if you know how to do that. Just press that little button there on the front. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Good job, Cindy. You guys really worked your butts off the other night.
Thank you.
Last month, we had 110 appointments or walk-ins, 8 trips to Sioux Falls, 1 trip to Minnesota, and 20 total riders. This Sunday is Veterans Day, November 11th, and we will have our annual Veterans Day program at 2 p.m. at the Cottington County Extension Complex.
Uh-oh, you know what that means, right?
Donuts.
No,
Well, he's reporting too. That's even better. It's official.
it's like when you're in the military, you walk in a bar with your hat on, you buy a round, right?
That's right. That's the way it is.
Anyhow, Veterans Day is this Sunday at 2 p.m. at the Cottington County Extension Complex. We have a really nice programs ready to go. Retired Brigadier General Jeff Marlette will be our guest speaker this year, and he's an excellent speaker, so he'll really, really do a good job. We'll have the municipal band there, the barber shop, the harmonizers are going to be there, so we got a nice program lined up. Okay, I got an email from the DAV Transportation Department in Sioux Falls, wondering if we are ready for a new vehicle. Ours is a 2009, and it's got 148,600 miles on it. And the new vans won't arrive till late spring, so probably May 1st. So I'm thinking we're going to have about 155 to 156,000 miles on. And I didn't budget for this. I'm just bringing this up for discussion. And they've got 6 different ones to choose from, but the one that, I think the only one that would fit our needs is the one with the all-wheel drive
Just pass them down here.
because of the snow.
And which one is that?
That would be the
2019 Ford
2018
Flex.
Ford Flex X SE all-wheel drive for $16,701.
So, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, so you budgeted for the share, our share of it, or the whole thing?
I didn't, no,
you didn't? Oh,
we
you-
would
I'm
only
sorry.
have to pay the
sorry, I misheard you.
16,701.
Okay.
I didn't budget anything because this just came up.
Okay.
The other half of that is paid by the DAV then?
DAV and a foundation that's been set up, yeah. In the past, we've paid anywhere from 10,500 to 14,000, I believe, on the past vehicles that we've gotten.
So the deadline looks like it's December 14th of when we need to
Yeah,
have that
we
in
need
by.
we need to have a letter signed from the board here by November 30th, I think it says.
It does in the second to the last paragraph.
Yeah, November 30th, 18th, we need a
Oh,
letter of commitment.
And this is not in the budget for next year.
No, not in my budget.
Can we make it one more year with the vehicle we've got since it's not in the budget?
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'll have to contact them and see what kind of range they'll have next year for prices. And if it's an every year thing, I think it is. I'm not sure, because this is the first one I've gotten in a couple of years, so.
That's what I was going to see too, how often do they make these offers? Is it
Right.
every year or every, so
I'll
we
find
need to
that
know
out and I'll email you
Good.
all.
Okay. Well, we could put it on the agenda for next week and just with possible discussion and possible action, okay?
Do you think you can get an answer? It's only a few days. This is
Yeah.
Thursday.
I should be able to get an answer today.
Okay,
Yep,
all right.
okay. One last thing, Cindy. Is there a chance we could put a Toys for Tots box in the auditor's office, or should I ask Carol, because she's got more room over there?
Either one. Either
Okay.
one would be
All right.
fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions for Al?
Thank you.
Okay, before you walk away, like clarification on this, you will find out today,
I'm hoping I can get an answer today.
okay?
All right, I have written it, penned it in for the 13th.
Okay, all
Al,
right.
just one more quick thing before you leave. We had talked about a temporary employee over there in your office
Yes, we
a couple meetings ago. How's that going?
Going good. She's doing well.
Okay,
Yep.
good. She's working, everything's going good?
Yep,
Okay,
answering
good.
phones, taking messages. Yep, she's doing a nice job.
Good.
Yep.
We, at our last meeting, Al, I don't know if you read the minutes or whatever, but we were considering extending the stage out at the Extension Center,
Right.
thinking of the veterans programs primarily because when you get the whole Army up there, or Navy, or whoever,
Right.
it pretty well fills it up, and that won't happen by Sunday.
No, I understand that.
So hopefully by the next Veterans Day, we'll
Good.
have something done. And we haven't acted on it or anything. We're just trying to get a partnership with the Ag.
That would really
Committee.
make it look a little more professional.
Yes.
It really look nice.
Okay.
I just have one question, I just want your opinion. Is it adequate the way we have it now, or do you want to see that, would you like to see that expanded?
It's fine. This year we had to make it a little bit bigger because we added a couple of things to it, and I think they're out of stage. I mean, we were able to do it this year. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
All right, let's go to number 7. Luke, action to approve a plat of the Tash Edition, Tash Acres Second Edition. I'll get her right yet. Thank you, Luke.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Luke.
I have a plat of Tesh Acres Second Edition in the southwest quarter, Section 24, Pelican Township. I've got copies if you want me to hand them to you, otherwise we will.
I'll take one for my
Might be
minutes.
easier for
I'll
the,
have one also.
I think for you, it might be easier for me just to hand it to you, so you're not
So you
straining your
don't have
neck.
to look backwards.
Couple of you.
Brought my planning and zoning information just in case.
Count on Luke to show up.
Yeah. Sent you a text.
you one, Cindy? Okay. This is the, as I said, Plat of Tesh Acres Second Edition. Very simple. This was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission at the October meeting. Just showing, you can see it's south of Watertown, south of Lake Pelican on 453rd Avenue, more commonly known, I was informed, of Foley Road. Out there, specifically at the Planning Commission meeting, I was reminded of that. The next point on there, the next slide on there, just kind of shows what's going on. The area in blue on that map right now is Tesh Acres Edition right now. That was platted back in the, I believe, the late 70s. It would have met the farmstead exemption requirement at the time, although I don't think they went through it because Mr. Tesh owned the whole quarter at the time. Now Mr. Tesh looking to sell the farm site, as you can see in yellow. They're essentially, what they're doing here is a replat. It's a different term, but basically they're replatting the area with the dotted line in yellow up there will be the new plat of Tesh Acres Second Edition, and this plat vacates the blue one on there. So now Tesh Acres Second Edition will exist, and then it will be the southwest quarter of this section, less Tesh Acres Second Edition, not Tesh Acres Edition. I know it's a long description, but basically the point is he's turning what was the blue box into the yellow box. That's what's happening here. The board granted the farmstead exemption to authorize it, as I said before. Probably had Mr. Tesh sold this at some point in the past, he could have sold the blue, but they would have needed a farmstead exemption. Now he got all of that taken care of. So.
Okay, you heard the explanation. I'll entertain a motion.
so moved.
Motion by Gable, second by Waterman. Any discussion? We did approve this unanimously at the Planning and Zoning Board meeting last week. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Luke.
Thanks.
Number 8, action to approve the purchase of a floor scrubber for the detention center to the tune of $3,872.21, and the breakdown is in your packet. I think there's a picture of it, and the quote. Milo's not here for an explanation, and I think this is pretty self-explanatory. It replaces the existing machine that is near its end. Any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to
A
approve.
motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion now?
Just, did you say, Mr. Chairman, did you say it was a budgeted item, or is this?
There are budgeted funds
But, okay.
available.
All right, okay.
All right, any more discussion? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All same sign, motion carries. Number 9, we have Brad here,
And
his-
Matt.
and Matt, action to fill a full-time correctional officer position due to a resignation.
All right. We got a correctional officer that's leaving us to go work for the state, and that leaves us with a full-time correctional officer spot open right now. Looking to open that up, I guess, hire that position.
So actually what you're asking for is permission to advertise.
Yep, gonna
Okay.
advertise for a couple weeks and hopefully
Okay.
get some.
I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion by
Second.
Hatton, second by Waterman. Any discussion? And where will you advertise this?
We advertise it with Terry. Terry Satterley kind of runs with it. He does the public opinion. We do our website, we do our Facebook page. We work with Elliott Lake Area Tech.
Yep.
And we get it up there, and they have a law enforcement program that they share it with. And then they also have a sounding board for for job applications as well through the Lake Area Tech program. So try to get it out there as much as we can.
And,
Are you gonna promote one of your part-timers to a full-time then? Or don't you have anybody that wants to be full-time?
Like I say, we haven't opened up the position as of right now, so we don't know if there's any interest, within the part-time. So, yep.
okay, any more discussion? Any other questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Good work. And you will be doing the interviewing?
Yep, we'll do the interviewing again. I think I got the next
Number 10.
agenda item.
Yes,
as well.
yep. All right, let's, number 10 then, let's go on to action to approve the purchase of a new computer server for the detention center.
Well, our server at the office, it controls the jail, sheriff's office, and also the emergency management. It's kind of been on the fritz. It's been acting up a lot and shutting down. We've had connecting point there a lot. It's a little bit longer than its life expectancy. It's kind of lasted a little bit longer. So I talked to Jim with emergency management and the jail budget and the sheriff's office budget. We should be able to split this quote 3 ways and get this going here at the end of the year. So
Make a motion to approve.
We have motion by Van Duzen.
Second it.
Second by Gable. Any discussion? And that's to the tune of $11,153, is that correct?
that is correct. That should
From
be
Connecting Point.
Brad,
install
will-
fees and everything. So
Will Connecting Point take care of that old server to make sure that it's crushed, or what's going to happen?
what we normally do on old computer equipment with the sheriff's office, we take out the hard drive and I make sure that those are destroyed just because of the sensitive information that's on those.
Right, okay.
Target practice.
Yep.
Any more discussion?
So, and you said we had budgeted funds for it, or?
Yep, budgeted funds between the emergency management office,
Right,
jail
okay.
budget, and the sheriff's budget. So,
Three-way
All
split.
3 of you.
yeah, we're gonna split it
budgeted
3 ways
funds.
between all of our budgets.
And could you
Funds
s-
are there.
Could you say again the age of the current equipment, just so we?
It's going on, this next year will be 7 years, so it's about 6 years and 10 months.
Sort of like dog years or 10
Yeah.
years, so it's about 70 years old at this
And
point.
anybody knows any computer stuff, about 5 years is about max, so
It's all
we've used this a
limited.
little bit longer.
Yeah,
Does
it's all
that house the
limited.
Zerker software on it?
No,
or
the
is that
Zerker
different?
software, that's another,
It's different.
that's a different one.
Okay.
For that, there's a server at the police department, and then there's a server at the sheriff's office. We have a server at the sheriff's office for the backup 911 center, and then if something were to happen to the police department or that connection between the sheriff's office and the police department, or something were to happen to that server, there's a backup
go to the
at the
backup.
sheriff's
Okay.
office.
Cool.
Those are actually going to be budgeted to be replaced here through the Zerker maintenance fees that we pay every year. Those are actually going to be replaced here. We're looking at it as we speak, so.
Okay, good discussion. Any more? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
And I just wanted to say congrats to Lee and Brenda for your reelection bid.
Thank
Thank you.
Brad, you want to just hang around just for a few minutes while we discuss this next item on the agenda? Sure. I'll have a question for you probably. Number 11 is discussion and proposed amendments to the System Wapanante gambling compact and action to authorize the chair to testify at a public hearing, and that public hearing would be Tuesday, November 20th, and it's at 8:30 in the morning. And really what we're, in the packet, and I had never seen this before, Lee put together some thoughts, and I just really haven't had a chance to. I glanced at it quickly. I have read the compact, which, by the way, happens to be about a 30-page deal, and I studied it thoroughly, simply because
32.
as thoroughly as one can.
Mr. Chairman, just to confirm, that's the compact they sent us before, right? That's the one they, or did they send it again?
That's the one we got in the mail, I think, originally.
Originally, yeah, a while
I could not tell
ago.
you, this
So-
one came October 19th.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
know
that
if
was a
it's-
while ago, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's, and based, just, Mr. Chairman, just so you know, the thoughts here were, when we talked about offering a letter of input, a few months ago when we got that first copy of that gaming compact.
And
So
we
this
did
is
send
just,
a letter,
so this
we did
is-
send a letter, and it did correspond with Roberts County. We agreed on the fact that they had not met their required, or what they had promised that they were going to do. Here, does everybody have a copy of the compact?
I emailed it to everybody, but I have not printed it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I read it.
All right. Anyway, there's a few things in there that there's quite a few things in there that I don't agree with. One of the things that I noted when they lined out a lot of their previous compact agreements is they had roads and all of them, and now they have crossed out roads, and I can't help but think, how are they going to get their customers there? Just going to drop in from the sky or whatever, but the only way that thing is going to function out there is if you get there. And what before I testify from the sheriff, I would like to I'd like to be ready, be well prepared, and when I go in there, how many calls have we made? And is that information available as far as whether it's fire, ambulance, law enforcement, whatever. Also, I would like to get from Rick, Highway Superintendent, the cost of resurfacing. We resurfaced the Sioux Conifer Road, which is from Highway 20 north to County Road 6, and since that last compact, and then we also resurfaced just this past year the County Road 11 from the interstate to County Road, we resurfaced County Road 6 from the interstate to County Road 11, and then from County Road 11 to US Highway 20, we chip sealed that road. We also have put in the rumble strips, the safety crossroads section out on County Road 6 and 11, and striped it, did all of the striping, and also it's plowed every time it snows or get a little ice, and that's one of the first roads that's open, is Sioux Conifer Road and County Road 11 and County Road 6, because those are the main arteries into the casino. And so I want to get some cost figures of what we have spent as a county. Now, we have to understand that we are also servicing the local citizens in that area. There's no question about that, but a lot of the wear and tear in that area is a result of the casino being there. And they need to understand that if they don't have good roads, it's going to hurt their business. I haven't had a chance to review, like I said, where did you get your information from? Lee?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, so this is from when we first got the copy of this compact, and we were asked for a letter of input. So these are my thoughts for that letter of input. And the main thing I took issue with was the fact that they were talking about authorization to have a greater number of slot machines, but decrease the payment per slot machine. So under the current draft, the payment to the counties, to Robertson, to Coddington, would equate to about $470 per slot machine. But the changes proposed in the draft we've been working with would ask for for a maximum of 1,000 slot machines, but reducing that annual payment for government services to Coddington and Roberts down to $200,000, which means about $200 a slot machine. So that's a decrease from $470 to $200 per slot machine. So what I'm suggesting is that we stick with that factor of $470 per slot machine, and then you can see the rest of the letter there. There's a bunch of levels, like with 500 slot machines, 750 slot machines, 1,000 slot machines, and then those amounts, as I recall, are the ones that are divided between our two counties, Roberts and Coddington. And then, so if I'm remembering the text correctly, but essentially it was that they're talking about increasing the numbers of machines and basically decreasing the amount of payment per slot machine. So
And
that was
because
my
the
issue.
city of Watertown is also involved in a contract between Coddington County and the tribe, I also forwarded this to City Hall, so they're council or mayor has also been made aware of this.
You know, it might be good just to get the actual copy that Myron signed, because as I recall, I prepared this as just filler for a letter from the chairman to Mr. Franken, who was...
Copy of the letter we sent several months ago?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
thinking it should say, it says about the same thing, I
Yeah.
think, so.
Okay.
We also, I'd also like to note the revenues that we have received from the state, or from the Sissiton Wahpeton tribe. You know, we've received, what, about how many years have we had this compact? The one that was
This has been in
existence?
place since I've been in
Well,
office.
I read something on here about 1991.
I don't
When
remember
their
what year it
first
was.
compact went into play. The original gaming compact was April 1st, 1991. I have a whole file on it, and if you want to
Yeah.
look through it, you can
Yeah.
see everything we've been paid. I do know that the current contract, we are not receiving the amounts that are outlined in the current contract, and that's based on the tribe filing a report with the Gaming Commission that they did not meet their anticipated revenues. So we have not seen the increases that were put out in the contract, which were also, the contract also did say if they did not reach their anticipated revenues, they would not pay that amount. So we are receiving payments, just not the ones outlined in the contract.
Mr. Chairman, just so everybody knows that's watching on YouTube, what we're talking about a meeting next Tuesday where the county's been invited to send representation to, correct?
Yeah.
A week
so
from
It's
Tuesday.
the 20th.
The 20th. I'm sorry, the 20th.
Yeah, it'd be a week from this coming Tuesday.
Okay, so I have just a few thoughts. Has our state's attorney looked this over and the strikeouts that they've done? I think this is
I
something.
provided it to her. I don't know if she's had time to look at it.
Right, so that's something we need to get input from her to see, on some of these things.
In fact, if you allow me to attend as your representative, I wouldn't mind, I don't know if she would, but I wouldn't mind if Becky would accompany me.
Or a representative from her office, because she has that assistant in there, her deputy. Another thing, I guess, I would like us to reach out to Roberts County and just see kind of where they're at with this same process. That would be a suggestion as
Good idea.
well.
Good idea.
Just so that we both, we're all going in there with the same thought process, I would think would be more beneficial, because the contract's going to affect both.
And Roberts County did reach out to us last week, and I told her, the auditor up there, that I had provided you with the information, but we had not discussed it yet, so. They are interested in what our thoughts are also.
So,
I'd make a motion to allow the chairman to represent us in 2 weeks from, so basically a week from Tuesday on the 20th.
Yeah,
I'll second that motion.
all right, any more discussion?
are you
Yes,
going
my
to?
discussion would be, can you provide that information for me, Brad? I appreciate it.
Yeah, we could chat sometime.
Okay.
I'll see what I think some of that up.
Okay,
Are
thank
you
you.
going to reach out to the Roberts County Commissioner Chair maybe
Yes.
and see where they're at?
Yes,
And the
please.
state's attorney?
Yep,
And maybe put on next week's agenda as a discussion item, just to go over that one more time.
Right.
A week before.
See what you find out, or what.
Yep.
Yeah.
all right. Any more
Doesn't give you
discussion?
many days, but.
Do we have a motion?
Motion and a second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Hold same sign. All right, I will represent you to the best of my ability. And I will see if I can get Becky or someone from the state's attorney's office to accompany me,
Yeah, that would probably be good.
or at least provide mail money for me.
Well, maybe the city also. I mean, it would be good to see what they have to say as well.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Yep. Let's go on then to number 12, note of upcoming holiday closures, and I don't know, Veterans Day is on Sunday, and now they want Monday off too. How about that, huh?
Well, that's what our
That's
personnel
typical.
policy
Yeah,
says.
that always is.
If the
Oh,
holiday
if the
falls on
policy
a
says it, we have to do it, I
The
guess.
Yeah. The policy says if a holiday falls on Saturday, employees receive
Yep.
Friday. If it falls on Sunday, employees receive Monday. It's also in your union contract, so.
But we also have a whole list of
But we
them.
also have November 22nd, which is Thanksgiving Day, and then the governor has given administrative leave for the day after that, which we also have a policy of following the state. The governor is also giving administrative leave on the 24th of December and the 31st. And then December 25th is Christmas Day, and January 1st is New Year's Day, which is part of our own policy. So you don't need to take action on this, but I just wanted to let you know why the building may be dark a few days in the next 2 months.
And you always do a good job of getting it to the press, so the press knows. I noted this morning when I was on the way in that there was a public announcement that Cottington County Courthouse will be closed on Monday, and all the public county facilities.
Yes.
So everything will be locked up on Monday. Okay, let's go on to number 13, action to approve a change order or change orders for the courthouse remodel project. And Lee, what you got for us
Yeah,
this week?
this is one I've been talking about for about the past month, off and on, but it deals with the, wake up here, Mr. I can get really. It deals with there was some floor adjustments, so basically making the judge's chamber.
Which document are we?
I'm sorry, looking at both, actually.
Both of them? Okay.
So actually, if you want to look at the one that says BKV at the top.
Okay.
You can see what we're talking about, and I think I've mentioned this before, but you can see with the last page, there's a couple floor plans there, and the little cloud areas are where you indicate the changes. So we modified the walls to make the judge's chamber a little bit bigger and lowered the floor. So that resulted, though, the good thing is this overall resulted in a savings of $1,459. So it's, it's kind of, since it's a credit, it's kind of a formality, but we should approve the change order. And so I make a motion to approve that.
Second
And-
that.
Okay, we have a motion by Gable, a second
I second it.
by Hatton. Any more discussion?
Is there a specific change order number?
Well, it's.
For this?
Yeah, for Mills
Okay, is it-
Construction, it's number PR 11.
PR 11, all right.
And then for the BKV, I think uses PR 4, so they have two different numbers.
Okay, if
so.
you could give me that chart again, you did not send that with.
No, I didn't, no, I've been.
Okay.
no. So it's PR 11 on this list.
Yep,
so
I like to keep those in the file, so
Okay.
if you can send it to me after the meeting.
it's just,
Okay, we
Yeah,
have a
let's
motion,
start.
a second. Any more discussion?
just real quick, Mr. Chairman, so that, if you look at, I just want to show people the chart here to see how it comes out. So I separated the change orders that could be covered by the law library fund on the right column. So, those are for courtroom technology. So as long as we have enough in that fund, we can, and right, it's going to be in the $70,000 range. So, and that's probably pretty close to where the courtroom technology is going to come in for the project. So we can cover that with the law library fund. But just to give you an idea of the net effect of all the change orders together, so that we're now $351 over. So, but if as long as we're able to, as long as we have adequate funds on for the law library, we'll be in that. That's we're at the 3,177 ahead. So, and it's kind of interesting that change orders work both ways. So, anyway.
Okay,
All right.
you heard the explanation. Any more discussion? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is that the only one that you have?
Yeah, that's it,
Lee?
Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you.
Oh, and this, okay, PR number 4 is,
That's the architect's number. That's the same thing. So the
these two are,
they're
all
the
right.
same, yeah.
All right,
So the
okay.
architect names has a
I
different number
understand
of
now.
systems
Okay.
than the contractor. So
Thank you.
That's all.
All right.
Okay, let's go on to 14, action to approve claims.
The only claim we have today is the salary claims for October totaling $538,635.02. There's nothing out of the ordinary in there. All the step increases were previously approved by the board.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Van Duzen, second by Hatton. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Let's go on to 15, action to approve automatic budget supplements.
None today.
And action to approve personnel changes. We have at least one of those anyway.
Two of those.
Hey, two of them, they're your packet.
The first one is the part-time receptionist clerk at the Veterans Service Office, April Chasen. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. I did not have the opportunity to meet her. We were busy with election. She'll start at step 1, $14.97 an hour. The second one is Jamie Monson. She is in the state's attorney's office. as a criminal civil records manager. She'll go to step 4, $20.32 an hour, and this is her annual increase.
Move to approve.
A motion by Hatton, second by
I'll second it.
Gable. Any discussion? And it sounds like the one at the Veterans Service Office is working out fine. I have had no information from the state's attorney, so that one must be working as well. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, let's go on then to number 17, travel requests. We have a couple of them, at least one here anyway.
We have 2 of those. The Director of Equalization Office is requesting authorization for the appraisers and herself to attend a Diffusing Difficult and Hostile Customers workshop. And that is scheduled for December. The second one is a request from the Welfare Office for the Angela Hyde, the clerk in the Welfare Office, to attend the South Dakota Sheriff's Association, one of their events where they are discussing corrections training? I'm not exactly sure. I know that she was requested to, there's a session on mental health screening at the Sheriff's Association, and Cottington County has been requested to be one of the panelists on that, and Sarah would like to send her assistant, Angela.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Let's go on then to mature business. Is there any old business we should?
Mr. Chairman, just if I could just mention something that
Go
I
ahead,
mentioned
Lee.
before. I just want to clarify something. So this comes up again. There we go. The data that we talked about, the sheriff's report, I just want to clarify one thing on this graph. So this is the sentenced versus unsentenced, dividing up the average daily population. So, and we talked about that at best, it's the sentenced is about 20% of that population, and usually not quite 80 for the unsentenced part. So just to clarify, that unsentenced means that they're somewhere in the criminal process. So a few of those people may not have been before the judge, but most of them have. It's just a lengthy process. So just to clarify, because I was asked, does that mean they haven't been before a judge yet? So I just want to clarify that, because that's an important point. And then, and so
They may have been in front of the judge.
But
Yeah,
they
they-
don't have their sentence
they don't
yet.
have their sentence. Yeah,
They
so
may have
so
had
they-
a hearing,
yes.
Yeah, there's-
Should be an
preliminary
initial
hearing.
appearance or what?
Right.
yeah, the
There's-
initial appearance has to be within days. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that has to be within days.
Yes.
So
So they're still basically unsentenced, waiting to be
Yeah.
getting their sentence.
Yeah, and there's
so.
2 things about this and I think we mentioned this before. 2 things about it is, one, but as for inmates that are sentenced, it's an easier management thing for the jail. And then the other thing is, as we looked at this data, and I don't know how much this is going to bear, what kind of fruit this will bear, but one thing as I was looking at this data, one thing that was interesting was a lot of times the release date was the day of or after the sentence date. So as you're able to get through that, so I'm hopeful that maybe with the new courtroom we'll be able to actually reduce the population, not just change the percentages, but hopefully even reduce the population a little bit and help the court out with some of this. So
That
anyway,
has to, yeah.
I just thought that was important to clarify.
That
Well,
has to make a difference.
One other thing, the county estimates revenues every year, just based on previous year's revenues, and when the detention center is full of Cottington County inmates, our care of prisoner revenue drops because we cannot take
Yep.
inmates from other counties. So I was just going to give you an estimate here.
You're talking about this graph, the one next to it, that shows the dark blue is the Cottington percentage. So that's 12 months of data.
So I had estimated that from out-of-county contracts, we would take in a certain dollar amount. Just let me get to it. I estimated that we would take in $160,000. Through October, we've taken in 116. So we're a little bit behind what our estimate is, but it's because we don't have room for out-of-county inmates. And hopefully by moving them through faster,
Yeah. We might
we'll
be
be
able
able to take
Open up
some of
some
those
spell-
inmates
yeah,
and,
space, yeah.
And that's something that I've said all along is the basic fact of if we can get these inmates through the process quicker, that should help alleviate those numbers, and we'll also know where we're at with some of these other things. So.
And there might be some, this is really more the court's bailiwick, but there might be some things we can work with. As we see this take shape with the new courtroom, we could also look at some other process things. But there's a lot of players there. You know, you have your state's attorney, your defense attorney, you have the judges and the scheduling issues, and so. But there's a lot of things that take place, and a lot of it is about making sure that people's constitutional rights are respected. But sometimes that seems to slow things down at times, and everybody's trying to do the right thing by everybody. So, but I know that's a theme that's been looked at in other jurisdictions. Is how do you tweak that process and maybe speed it up, and thereby maybe reduce your jail population some. So, anyways, that's probably a little bit down the road, but just to give you some perspective. So.
Well, a number of our candidates that were just elected to statewide offices, if they follow through with what they told us in their campaign process, there should be, it should help us. It looks like they understand what some of the issues are, what the problems are, and I don't know if I've heard a rock-solid answer to any of them, and I don't think there probably is a rock-solid answer. There's no silver bullet, I think, yeah. But at least maybe we have a group of elected officials that will sympathize with us anyway, yeah. If nothing else.
Yeah, I do
No, this is not a unique problem to Cottington County.
No,
it is a
it's
statewide issue.
It's nationwide.
And,
I went to a couple national.
And I know that there was a few counties out there that did hold elections for new justice senators, and so they're going through the same things we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I think, even the state penitentiary is now filling up with, nonviolent people with addictions, and they're going to have to take a look at some of that too. So I really think it's just kind of coming to a head that everybody's going to have to brainstorm on this and try to figure out what the next best process is.
And it's like you said, Mr. Chairman, no silver bullet. There's just a lot of different things, angles you have to constantly work. Mm-hmm. It's not just a facility. Obviously we think we need a new facility, but there's all sorts of other aspects, like the reentry stuff that Brenda's working, the mental health, juvenile detention, all those 24/7 is huge.
Well,
so,
go ahead.
That's it.
And on that, with the transitional housing, maybe the state will see it and add more. We can only take so many candidates in drug court because of the funding and the staff. So maybe that's somewhere where they can expand to have more individuals in those programs and get more funding to that might be a way also of
Well, we'll see how it plays out, and I know you've heard me say this many times before. Government moves at probably less than a snail's pace.
Well, and that was Brenda.
I'm pretty patient.
You mentioned drug court, and that's one of the things that have been brought to my attention when I've talked with some people about drug court. Is it's a fantastic program, but it's so limited on the amount of people you can get through there. That we need to branch that out. We need to open it up to get more people through there if we can, and that's the challenge.
Yeah.
And I think back now, when was our first drug court graduation? I know I attended it. Was that 2 years ago?
I want to say it was late 2016, maybe.
We were a pilot program, I believe.
Yeah.
Cottington
Yeah.
was one of the pilots. And I don't know
and
how many years.
have graduated from our drug program? It's not more than
It's
a
like
couple
18,
handfuls.
I think. I went to the last one, and it was, I believe, 16 or 18, somewhere in
It takes a long
there.
time to get somebody through that program.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about 2 years and 16 or 18 graduated from drug court. It's like I said, it's not. It's kind of like a slow boat to China.
Right.
You just wish it would go faster. But it's a very, very intense process.
Well, and it depends on the individual, how quick they can get through that program. It depends on their addiction and all those sorts of things go into play too. So it's something you really can't.
One thing
speed
that's
through.
consistent with the drug court attendees that I hear time and time again when I talk to them is how happy they are with being in the program, because once they're able to get off that and they're not depending on that drug anymore, it's nice to see that turnaround. And it's nice to hear them say, you know what, this is working for me. So drug court does work. And kudos to those folks that are involved in drug court and making that work. Well, we need to open it up. We need to make it bigger.
I agree. I think we got to come up with solutions for these folks to try to, help them get past that, because it's something that's bigger than them and they can't really help themselves. So till we get them to that point.
And I've probably had more impact contacts from grandmas and grandpas and husbands and wives and have personally talked to me about the changes that they have seen and are just so grateful for what has happened. But here again, we would like to see it happen to more than 16 or 18.
Do you know what's really neat about drug court? And well, I'll say this and then I'll stop. But it's the personal commitment of those that are involved in drug court as well, and making sure that the drug court attendees are successful in what they're doing. Those folks are passionate about what they do, and they really believe in the program, and they're really doing good things. We mentioned 18 people in 2 years. That's 18 lives, hopefully,
That's
we've
18
changed.
lives,
And that won't get back on that wagon, hopefully. So,
And the families, that trickle-down effect on the families that
exactly
has
right.
as well. So
Yeah.
we're talking more than, it's very important.
And the other part that I don't think they get near enough credit is the sponsors of these individuals.
right.
I know one particular business in town has sponsored multiple students in drug court, and hats off to these people that do that, because it takes time out of their business, and they keep them employed. They keep them working and productive citizens while they're going through this process, and that's very, very important. I appreciate that very, very much.
Something I'd like to do, we're getting really close on this transitional housing, starting to place individuals. Once we do, maybe you guys would like me to bring in the representative from ICAP and from the drug court coordinator and Hank and Bruce, and just get an update of.
Good.
That'd be great.
So, because it's really going to be unique. It's the partnership between ICAP being at that meeting and drug court, and they were just so relieved that ICAP can do some of these things now that they don't have to worry about, and it's going to be a neat
Good
coordination.
partnership.
Yes, very good partnership. So I'm
All right,
excited.
so let's move on then to number 19. Is there any new business? I think we beat the old business to death here or whatever.
Probably good.
Any new business? How about the open? Anything for the open?
I have several events that we could possibly have a quorum of commissioners at. Tonight is the Merry Mix and Mingle out at the Event Center from 5 to 7. Tomorrow morning is the Hall of Fame banquet at 11:30 at the Event Center. Of course, Sunday is the Veterans Day program out at the Extension office at 2 o'clock. And that gets us up to next Tuesday, so that's all that I have, that there could be a quorum of commissioners, unless I'm missing something.
It's possible on Tuesday or Wednesday, the 14th.
Yes.
You have a Sioux Valley District meeting. It's possible there could be 3 of you there.
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention it next Tuesday.
Did you mention?
Okay.
Did you mention the sheriff's conference next week too?
No, I did not.
Okay, there's-
What days is that? on?
That's, the business meeting is Tuesday. I'm gonna go speak about talk to them about the sales tax, being able to ask for half-penny sales tax to fund the construction of a jail. And they were supportive the last time we tried it in 2016.
That's on the 13th.
That's I want to say, that's 13th and 14th, but their business meeting is the day before, I believe, on the Tuesday, which I don't.
Which would be the 13th.
13th
Yeah,
is the
13th.
business
So then the
meeting.
14th and 15th is the actual conference, so I'll probably be in and out of that.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't mention it because I thought we could mention it more detail next Tuesday,
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
doesn't start
So
till
anyway,
after.
that's just a FYI. And then the other thing for the open is I'm talking to Rotary today to give them an update on the courthouse remodel. So it's the free speaker. So.
Do you
I
have
will be
your
there.
number for the Sioux Valley?
Oh, yeah, there won't be, could there be a quorum there? I'll
This
be
one is
there
for
because I'm a
you.
member, so I don't know if
I will.
anybody
Yeah,
else wants
maybe
to come and
You got
attend.
the agenda.
Maybe.
But
They
you
can
look
come
at-
as a guest if anyone wants to.
Ann will be bringing the registration check.
Oh,
For the
one more
3 of you.
thing, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I was up here on election night, and I just, I told Cindy and her staff this already, but I do want to make a public statement that it's really fun and it's really neat to see how that staff comes together and works those elections. And I know it's a lot of work getting volunteers lined up, and it's a lot of work making sure that the polling places are all ready to go. And it's a lot of work when the ballot boxes are brought up here. Things really get going really fast, and her staff went to work, and we were out of here by, I think, 10:15 or 10:30 the other night. So just kudos to Cindy and her staff. They do a great job with that, and I just wanted to thank them for efficiency on their part. So
You bet, thank you, Cindy.
No problems with the new voting machines?
Nope,
And
Nope.
Man, that thing
I led a
is-
public
worked
meeting-
really well, yeah.
it was
I led
great.
a public meeting yesterday, and I said, we have no interest in switching over to the system that Minnehaha County uses.
Well, we do use the same system, actually.
But
Oh,
everyone,
well, but-
you can vote anywhere.
You, true.
I mean, they're
And
not interested.
you gotta remember that they had 70,000 votes and
Yeah.
we had 10,000, so there's a
Did they
there's a
have
big
problems
difference.
with their machine down there?
I don't think so. I
see.
think it's just the quantity of
Oh.
ballots they have to process is just so
I think
much.
it just
Yeah.
requires a live connection on election day because people can vote anywhere. So you have to maintain that to make sure people don't
Right.
only vote
And you know,
once.
we almost
the issue.
have, I mean, we have
Ward Z and
Oh, you mean any?
a central place for everybody to vote, which seems to work. I haven't heard, nobody's complained directly to me. Sometimes it does get busy out there, but those are the heavy traffic times, so you just gotta pick the time that's,
It's pretty steady.
yes. And then we did have 4,600 people vote early, so that took some of the stress off of the
4,600.
building. Yes.
Is
Yep.
there any issue or any reason that we should look at streamlining that process? You know, they gotta come up the elevator, up the stairs, you know, and does it get, you know, it's right in the doorway of the treasurer's office and,
Oh, you mean the absentee process?
Yeah, the absentee process.
No, you know, it worked out really well. We very seldom had anybody standing in line.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple times they had to wait for a booth, but it works, it's working. I mean, there's no other place that we could go.
Well, every time I was up here, there was people up here voting. I
Yeah.
mean, it was busy.
Yeah.
But what I liked is they usually paid their taxes and then voted. And so it worked out, that was kind of
Was that an increase over the last election, the number of people that
It
voted
was
or voted?
not an increase over the last election because that was the presidential, but it was a big increase over the last midterm. Last midterm, I think we had 3,088 and we had 4,600 this time. So, yeah.
2 years from now, it will be really busy.
The biggest problem are voters who are not aware of where they're registered to vote. And they have the opportunity before the election to go check that out online, but there were a number of people on election day that had forgotten to change their addresses. They were still registered in another county. That's the biggest part is voters just not being aware of where they are registered to vote. Or if they're registered to vote, some just don't know the laws of the state of South Dakota. People coming here from North Dakota, if you don't check out our laws, you're going to think that you can go to the polling place with identification and register to vote and vote on the same day, which in South Dakota is not the process. But little things like that. When you move to a state, check out the voter registration process and the voting process. Yeah.
There was one county I heard in the news this morning, and I don't recall what county it was, where there's some concern over some issues about the voting process. Did any of you hear that on the news this morning? I don't remember what
Is it
county.
in South Dakota?
Yeah, I know it wasn't Connington, so I just kind of shut it off.
It's probably when they try to, I mean, instead of using the printouts at the polling stations, they'll use an electric, like a tablet or something, electronic. And so if the connection gets crowded, if the bandwidth gets crowded, that slows things down. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it does. The electronic poll books, a few counties use them, not all of them. I mean, that is what held us up in the primary, is when their connection went down.
I tell you, the helpers out at the Extension Center were great.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk in and of course, I guess they know who you are, and they just point there, go that, go over there, you know. I mean, they're friendly, helpful. And can't say enough good things about them. And I hope that all of you did. I know where I was voting at my township, I thanked them for volunteer. Well, they're getting paid, but it's still it's a 9-hour day.
It's a long
It's a
day.
long day.
It's a long day.
Oh, it's a 13-hour day.
13-hour day.
Yeah, they have to be there shortly after 6, and they don't leave until after 7 PM. So, yeah, it's
a long
it's
day.
a long day.
Cannot get goodies or anything anymore.
I just have one more comment to say about the election, and it was the expediency that, unless there's a few signs left over, that how rapidly they were picked up.
Yep. There's a few out there yet, but not too many.
And there's always a few stragglers around that you forget, or
I think a lot of them are gnome signs, and I think there's a crew that's coming in from Sioux Falls that they put the signs up, they probably will pick them up too.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I think there's a crew there. They're still recovering from their celebration, I think. That's what it's going on.
Well,
All right, no public comments. We've had plenty of commissioner comments.
I did give you some correspondence from Dakota Rural Action on a CAFO conference, it looks like. That's just for your information. It was sent to me. I passed it along to you. I did contact the chamber about the Farm Business Appreciation Banquet tickets. I don't know if they'll come to me or to you. If I get them, I'll let you know.
I got to stop down at the chamber, so I'll just let them know and maybe bring them up here. That would
Okay.
save them, make them one
I did
stop.
send them the list of who needed what, so.
Okay.
All right, I do not have a request for an executive
Make a motion
session.
to adjourn.
So I have a motion by Hatton to adjourn, a second by Gable. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you, folks. And it's good to keep the team together so we can proceed.